Good evening and welcome to our 9 p.m. English news brought to you live by RTD. The headlines: the 40th anniversary of the independence, reaching color to the complex of Fahad of Balbala. Middle East, UNESCO enroll Hebrew to the World Heritage.
Thanks for joining us, our dear viewers. Djibouti City, the visibility begins to be poor. The ones sensitive to heat are beginning to hide away, and the Khamsin begins to send sand winds. The period of Khamsin seems to be started in Djibouti. Winds and sands cover the whole of the arteries of the city of Djibouti, and drivers of vehicles and pedestrians complain of bad visibility. To this effect, it is important to the population to ensure but the potential risks of disaster related to the phenomenon, a risk of fire incidents relatively very high, and road accidents. It should also be noted for the homes using oil stoves, the risks of fire incidents incurred when its use are considerably high. This Khamsin rises thus and generates sandstorms, which also reduce the visibility to less than kilometers. It is an undeniable fact of the risk of road accidents. It is thus recommended to take precautions to avoid accidents of circulation.
After a very well organized and successful evening of 27 June at the Goulet Stadium in the presence of the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, the caravan of independence has resumed its ride yesterday evening in doing gaps at Balbala, more precisely to the enclosure of the King Fahad complex. It is the image evening. All Djiboutian musical group residents and diaspora assembled for the occasion song and dances in the front of the crowd, overflowing with energy. With this moment of feast and sharing, the caravan seeking to awaken the moral conscience of the citizenship of each Djiboutian. This caravan, led by the community, for the organization of the 40th anniversary festivity, organized in collaboration with the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport and the Town Hall of Djibouti. In each place, a musical evening retracing the story of the country. This output of the caravan has seen the light of the day in the presence of the Secretary of the State for Youth and Sport, Mr. Hassan Mohamed Kamil, the Minister of Budget, Mr. Bode Ahmed Roble, the Planning Commissioner, Mr. Amara Ali Saeed, the parliamentarian consular to the presidency responsible for the youth, Mr. Mohamed Deto, as well as several members of the Department of Youth and Sport, the Town Hall, and the national community of the organization of the festivity of the 40th anniversary of the independence. The next step is expected in the coming days at the Palace of the People.
And in the framework of the 40th anniversary of the independence celebration, the ambassador of Djibouti in India, Saeed Absiawar Sama, organized a reception at the Lila Palace Hotel, one of the most prestigious hotels of the capital. In the presence of the General V.K. Singh, a Minister of Foreign Affairs representing the federal government, the evening was held in the presence also of an important member of diplomatic body accredited in India, as well as several personalities from different artisans. Without forgetting the families of our diplomats. On this occasion, the ambassador did not fail to recall the excellence of relations between the two countries, and to this effect, the ambassador has highlighted that Djibouti, to the term of its 40 years of independence, is seen as a stable country and reliable, to which the international community and investors are fully trusted. Finally, the ambassador has highlighted that all the achievements in the radiation of Djibouti in the Council of Nations arise from the vision and the policy lightened by the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh. The ambassador has also sent its best congratulations to the President of the Republic, to the First Lady, Chairperson of UNFD, to the members of the government, to the elected representative of the nation, and to the whole of the Djiboutians. As well, simultaneously, another celebration of the 40th anniversary of our motherland was held in the city of Hyderabad, located in the south of India, where a good number of Djiboutian students reside. The Association of Students have organized with fervor in Grand Hotel in the city center with as guests of honor the Embassy of Djibouti in India, represented by the cultural advisor Idris Ahmed Miguel. Songs and patriotic poems recounting the history of the country and the traditional dances have been on the menu of the fest of the 27 June 2017.
The Djiboutian Federation of Swimming celebrates the World Day of Swimming on the public side of the beach of Iran. On this occasion, Friday being a day of rest, the beach was particularly black from the early hours of the day. The Djiboutians were taking advantage of this privileged moment, where big and small, family and beach parties meet to the cool of with the sea air. That the FDN went to the public to celebrate this day by offering free swimming lessons to children and youth. The aim of these days is to raise awareness of population swimming to be a wide audience. Indeed, before being a sport, swimming is a matter of public safety in this sense. It's fighting to make the discipline known and practiced by all. The day also coincides with the official launch of International Swimming Federation. Swimming for All for Life program, this ambitious concept aims at making swimming accessible to the public, on the other hand to enable everyone, especially children and young people, to escape through the acquisition of the basic technique and to more easily in aquatic environments. As a result, through the summer month of July and August, the Djiboutian Federation of Swimming is offering, thanks to its technicians and educators, the possibility to learn swimming basics on the same site. The FNDF invited the Djiboutians to come to the register and benefit from this learning in order to enable to swim safely and enjoy all the pleasure of the sea. Finally, this day was a certainly success in more ways than one.
The Lutheran World Federation, in collaboration with Honors in UNHCR, organized on Tuesday a day dedicated to fundraising for education of refugees at Anglais camp in the March of Solidarity for the education of children refugees to start from 9 a.m. in the refugee camp of Anglais. Of the numerous personalities participated in this event, including the representative of NGOs who work at the refugee camp of Anglais, Hol and Markazi camp. The ceremony was closed with the awarding of prizes for Best Students of the Year and distribution of school certificates in Anglais refugee camps. In the presence of Anglais Camp Chief, Mr. Muhammad Abdullah, Deputy Prefect of Anglais, UNHCR, UNFD, LWF and NRC.
Now, the news outside our borders. UNESCO voted Friday to recognize Hebron Old City and the town of Patrician as Palestine heritage site. Despite intensive diplomatic effort waged in recent weeks, Israel and the United States failed to recruit the support of enough member states to vote down the move. 12 states on the World Heritage Community voted in favor of the resolution of the 3 votes against it. The resolution that was proposed by the Palestinians, including the 2 main clauses. The first asserts that Hebron's old city and the town of Patrish are Palestinians. Heritage sites will be registered in search of UNESCO World Heritage listing. The second asserts that the 2 sites are to recognize as being in danger, meaning that each year UNESCO World Heritage Committee will convene to discuss their case. The parliamentarians held UNESCO votes with the Palestinian Minister of Foreign Affairs colleagues, the only logical and correct decision. To pass the resolution needed to support the 2/3 of the community voted member, the decision was taken by secret vote after the 3 states asked one during Friday's meeting.
And to close up this edition with, U.S. President Donald Trump opened his much-anticipated meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin by raising concerns about Russia's alleged interference in the 2016 presidential election, according to U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. They had a very robust and lengthy exchange on the subject, Tillerson said, after the two leaders met for 2 hours on the sidelines of its G20 summit in Hamburg, Germany. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov confirmed that the two leaders discussed the subject. The meeting, which was initially planned to last 30 minutes, went on for over 2 hours. The leaders discussed many topics including Ukraine, Syria, cybersecurity and fighting terrorism, according to Putin, who spoke at a news conference with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe right after his meeting with Trump. Meanwhile, Trump and Putin had positive chemistry during their first meeting, Tillerson said, adding that there was so much to talk about that neither leader wanted to stop. The two connected very quickly, said Tillerson. Well, that's it for tonight's news. Thanks for joining us on RTD. Have a great evening.